Coach Reuben Coach Caribbean Club. I've got with me one of our young players, JD, and of course, Club Secretary, Mr. Obi Lewis, and our fellow member committee member, Mr. Evan Roberts.
Thank you for taking your time to be on our show. And Reuben was here last week, but Hashim was hosting. So, what did you guys discuss last week?
So we mostly mainly spoke about how Caribbeans have started off and mostly about Reuben's life journey on how he transitioned from football to cricket and from adjusting to the through the timeline as different ways of cricket. So this week we hopefully are trying to bring the same thing.
So today we've got three new guests. So we're going to start with JD. JD, if you give us a little introduction of how you started playing cricket and eventually ended up in Luton Caribbean.
My name is JD. Started in Caribbean in 2016. First came absolutely cash under 16, under 13s. And then from there on, the journey started with juniors, developed to seniors and studied Premier Masters. After that, then in 2018, I think, or 19, I played in first team for the first time.
So you say the journey has been very great for you. So do you remember your first time when you joined Caribbean? How were you feeling? What were you a bit nervous? Obviously it was a brand new experience for you?
As in a youngster, when you put on the gears, the kit, the bat that you're holding, you're going into the match, you're gonna go play. It's always been an exciting. It hasn't been nervous. I mean, when I came to bat on the crease, it gets nervous then. Other than that, it's been okay. I've never been that nervous.
And all the coaches, everyone has been very supportive of you, and it's a great to have you on our show to give some chance to the youngsters as well. So what advice would you give them, if they want to start playing cricket but they don't feel confident?
As a youngster of myself, I told myself that I gave few aims to myself. At least do the best, take the best, listen, learn, and then carry on from there. So isn't it for the youngsters, for the youth, I would say work hard, listen, and focus.
Thank you very much. Now moving on to Ossie. Now first time on our show as JD. Can you give us a bit of introduction of your life and how you started off?
Wow. I'm Ossie Lewis. Been playing cricket or around cricket since the 1970s in Luton. So I'll go back a long way. I've seen a lot come and a lot go. Originally, when I started playing senior cricket, because I played at school before I started playing senior cricket, there was only one Caribbean club in the town.
Okay,
and I started playing for them. I was 16, 17 years of age. I started playing for them. Over the period of time, I've seen 4 different cricket clubs, Caribbean cricket clubs in Luton. And eventually, as time went by, they dwindled. And it was in 1992 when it came to the situation that there was only 2 Caribbean clubs left. And they were struggling to field players. So in the winter of 93, there were conversations going on about the 2 clubs merging. And fortunately or unfortunately, as you may put it, they put me right in the center of ensuring that everything gets negotiated properly. So I was the one who was drawing the 2 clubs together. And eventually in 1994, 2 clubs joined together, came about, Luton Caribbean Cricket Club came about.
And the journey started from then to now.
And 30 years now. This year, 30 years since we've been going.
And if I ask you, how many players you have currently in your club? How many teams? And
we've got 2 senior teams in our club and 1 youth team in the setup. Now, as for players, we've got about 62 players altogether, including youths in the club. So it's grown over the years, and we hope to continue to grow.
Thank you, Ossie. And moving on to Evan, is that if I may? So can you give a little introduction?
So my name is Evan Roberts. Member of the Luton Caribbean Cricket Club for about 20 years, I think. It was funny how I joined the team because one day I was just walking by. We were playing against High Wycombe. And one of the High Wycombe chaps said to me, come and play for us, come and play for us. So I said, but I didn't bring my gears. But then I was already playing for Luton cricket team in the midweek.
Okay.
So I said, but I can't play against my team, you know. But, so I said to the manager, I said, can I play? He says, yeah. So I played for High Wycombe that day. And from there on, I started playing Saturday and Sundays and midweek. But I started playing cricket from about the age of 5, maybe even younger. Played some school cricket, for my school when I was 9, in the national thing. Then I played for my secondary school in the national league, and then I played for my country as a youth player for a couple of years. And then didn't stick around for long enough to play for the country, but I went to Antigua, played some cricket here, played some cricket in Trinidad. When I came to England, one of my first teams was well, what happened is this guy was visiting us at home, and he said, and he was talking about the cricket match that they did before, where back in the and they mentioned something, so I said, yeah, that was me. And then he introduced me to a team in Middlesex, called Foster's, big team. So I played for Cockbusters for about 3 years. And then I played in Blackheath, Dulwich. I played for another Caribbean team called Caribbees, I'm sure it was again. And we know about Caribbees, good Marcus and them guys. And that was a very strong team. When I came to Luton, and in 2002, I about I joined Luton in the midweek. Then started playing Saturday and Sundays. So my manager said to me, man, you want to be the captain? I have somebody in mind. So I said, who's that? He said, you. So I said, okay. I took on the challenge. I captained the team for about 5 years. I remember winning the competition twice, because we were in a league called Millman. And for that year, I won. So I won the competition twice as a captain. And then I gave over the captaincy to, I think he was Eddie. Or he might have been Adal or somebody like that. So I've had some reasonable good success as a player, captain and everything, in the Luton Caribbean team.
So a question to all of you is that obviously for the amount of experience you have, obviously there must have been some failures in your club or some setbacks. Can you explain, like, if any happened, how you managed to handle those? Any challenges you might have faced along the way of your journey?
They come and they go, don't they? They come and they go, don't they?
Well, basically, when you try to anticipate certain things, and that comes from planning. However, along the way, you make contingencies so that if anything falls down, you've got something to fall back on. Because one thing that I think a lot of organizations, a lot of people come to understand, to run something successfully, you have to have a plan.
Yeah.
You have to have forward thinking, and you have to have the determination to carry out those plans. Irrespective, doesn't matter what obstacles come in your way, you try find a way around it. So our challenges, one of the big challenges that you'll find, that we've found over the years and time, is constantly attracting players.
Yes.
Okay. Now, recruitment of players could take so many different forms. It could be introduction directly, or we can go out and place source players, or someone may come and see us playing cricket and want to play cricket. And what we do, we encourage anyone of any ability to play the game, because we think it's a lovely game. Okay, so by encouraging everyone, that's why we've got in our constitution, in our club, it says our cricket is open to anyone. We do not discriminate, we do not offer, we just make sure that when you come, we set the conditions that you would enjoy your cricket.
So the support is very big in your club, which is one of the positive factor. Obviously, being me and Hashim being players ourselves, we are seeing the amount of support that you give to players, and as you just said, that is very important, because a player needs to understand that if the club is supporting them, they're going to be wanting to play. And like, is it true that sometimes some players they end up leaving the club, or one game they play for you and then after they get a bit successful they go to another club? Does that make you a bit upset that okay, we've given them the opportunity but then they ended up moving to another club?
No, we can only advise. We have, we've had so many. We've had so many. We've had so many. JD can
Test today.
testify to that. We've had so many that have come, played, and been successful. But you see, when they meet their friends of other teams or vice versa, and they go to other brands and they're playing for us and we go them along so far and they look so good and they're playing well. Other teams will talk to them.
Yeah.
Their friends will talk to them about joining. And too many players being promised this, being promised that from other clubs who's left us and gone to other clubs. They've got being promised this, promised that. And with a season or two, they'll no longer play cricket because they've been let down. They've become the disillusion now regarding what they were promised. You cannot promise young players anything. I mean, young players are supposed to enjoy their game. Enjoy their game. At the moment, in cricket, at the moment, in any level of cricket, even our grassroots cricket, too many teams are offering young players incentives to play for them. And the incentive ain't going to last for more than a season. And when the second season comes and you're not being offered what you offered before, you get disillusioned.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Too many players at the moment are doing what they're not supposed to be doing. They want to be paid to play cricket. But clubs who cannot afford.
Yeah, I've got a question for JD. So JD, as a player, when you came to the club, what so obviously you started off playing cricket as you just said. Do you remember a time where you struggled a lot and the club, Reuben, Ossie, Evan, they all backed you up, which really you still remember to this day, like an innings that you or your favorite innings playing for the club?
I think in 2021, when after the COVID the season started, it was a bad season there. I could not score runs for the team. I'm going open, I'm stressing. When I'm going down, I'm rolling. And why am I batting at the bottom? Because I'm not scoring at the top.
Yeah.
So even at the bottom, when I'm batting at number 7, 8, 9, I'm still not making one. So it's not really an effort that I'm showing to the team, to the captain, to the other players that yes, I am able to play. So at that point was really disturbing for me at that time. I decided to leave cricket at one point as well. Spoke to Reuben about it, spoke to Ossie about it. It's just, one of the net sessions that when you're batting and you're doing so bad in those sessions, you just feel like if I can't do nets, how am I meant to play in the real match? So, yeah, these two, the guys saying right and left, these two guys supported me through days. Constantly speaking to me on calls, giving me support, giving me motivation for me to now scored 300s in,
Wow.
in a couple of matches, a few 50s. Made a team win as well, some points.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm grateful for football.
One of the pleasing things with JD is I remember when he made his first 100. Okay, he was batting and I kept on shouting, "That's it. Put your head down. Think about the next thing. Don't worry about that. Think about the next thing." And one thing that I like to give over my experience to younger players, pass on the attitude, approach, everything. And what pleased me was he actually took on board what I was saying. And I saw the happiness in his face. Because I still got the photograph up to now where the photo was taken with him against the scoreboard and 103 up there. Right? And just to see him execute things that we've been teaching him and saying things and getting his head round it and making 100. Because I'll tell you something, a lot of people play cricket and they be loads of it, but not a lot of people could score hundreds.
Yes.
I batted. Me and him were batting.
You and him were batting together.
Me and him were batting today. When he was in the 50s, I think I don't know when he was in the 60s. That's what he was in the 60s.
Mm.
And I said to him, I was going now. Make sure it's going.
100.
Make sure you score your 100 today.
I remember watching this young man match. Then I was thinking to myself, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, this guy was on the 30s. Now he's 17 and he's scoring 100. But this was a 100, that was a special 100, but I was still harder than him. Because this was against in Porto when Alex made 160.
Mhm.
And he scoring 100. And then he started batting like he didn't care. So I was a bit upset, even though he had made 100. I was thinking, man, he could go on and make a lot more because he would have made 400 runs that day. He made 390 something. So I was still, but I was a very, very good 100. I don't think he made any mistakes in it. I didn't see the first 100, but that 100 to me was like brought home to me the short space of time this guy has been so successful. Because from going from 13 to 17 and batting like so maturely, it was special to watch. But I was still upset with him when he gave his wicket away.
So when you guys play with the players together, for example, like Ruben and JD, like you just said, you were batting alongside with them. What do you talk in between like your matches? How do you support? How do you help the players while in a tough match situation? What sort of advice do you give the youngsters, especially?
Bring the experience to the little bit and talk to them about the shots that they do, about the concentration. And then if you go up, I will go up to play the right shot, play the right section. And the move on the right road. If you go down the same, let's concentrate. Let's play good for that. Play good for that. Let's see what's up to you. I remember when JD first came. When he first played the first on the 13 game for us, he was late coming. And he ran from the car park to get up before the start of the game. I remember that the first youth game on the 13 ever played at African guys. I think we lost the game by 9 or 8 runs. Our first ever game.
He cried.
He cried. He cried. He came off. He scored about 20 odd runs or something. And we lost by 9. He came off and he cried. Because he had passion for the game.
The funny thing is, this guy used to feel in his lips. And when the ball is coming to the keeper, he used to catch the ball. And I said to him, let the keeper do his work, man. That's how much passion this guy has.
Yes.
He always wanted to be involved.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what I like to see in youngsters. So you encourage them, and you point out certain things to them. And one of the most important things I always say to them is just have fun, man. Enjoy yourself. Don't worry about the mistakes you make. It will get better, Just enjoy yourself and have fun. Yeah.
So I think you all should agree that a player should have passion and dedication towards the game. There's no point a player who has all the skills but he's not willing to work hard.
That's it. I agree with you
We
100%.
always say to them, you're going to put the work in. You're going to come to us. We'll watch you back. We are the because there's lots of ways of getting out. You need to eliminate maturity.
Because that player, if he's not skilled enough, but he's willing to work hard, that he's gonna make the match for you. Otherwise, the player who is talented will say, "I'm not going to work hard." So that is what you guys are looking for. And also to tell our audience, when does your club run? When do you have your sessions?
Well, we have our session every Wednesday. Because I'm at sometimes I'm at Newtonian with the children. I'm at Newtown. I mean, with the children, Newtonian on Monday. The Caribbean Club on the Thursday evening.
Yeah.
Stuff from 6 to 5 o'clock to the evening. Lessons we go like this. I mean, there's a scope for everyone to come and join around the community. There's so many outlets that people around the community. For every youngster in the community, for every background to come and play in the community.
And if we talk about the lockdown that happened, obviously everyone knows, you've been playing cricket for a long time. You're in a specific routine, playing your matches, and all of a sudden lockdown comes. You're not playing cricket. You're not leaving your house. But after lockdown, how did that change for your club? Do you think you got more players were coming in, or how did you manage to handle that situation post lockdown?
Lockdown, in actual fact, I would say having an overview of all the clubs in the area, Luton Caribbean came through very well. Not only not just financially, but playing wise. Because what it is that if you remember the lockdown, it was locked down at one stage and it was opened up again and it was locked down again. Now what happened is because we had a all-weather turf and Reuben set out to try and get us to continue to play cricket during that time. And whereas most clubs were not playing cricket, we were. Although we followed the guidelines because we had to, because I had to put in all the COVID-19 protocols. It wasn't going to work unless we do that, right? And so therefore, all lads play cricket near enough all the way through. And when we emerged, when lockdown eventually finished, we found that playing wise, we were in a very, very good position because of the fact that we were able to allow all our players to continue to play through certain things. And also one thing that myself and Reuben talked about, and we insisted, and I'll give Reuben a lot of kudos in this, and Terry also as well, one of our senior players, this is that they put themselves out there and they help the players.
Yeah.
And it was very important because myself and Reuben especially talked about the mental strain of lockdown on young players, young people. And our insistence was, let's try to minimize the mental burden on players. That's why we continue to play, and bring the players forward. And it was good to see that in the end, when they came through, they were all still there, still ready. And I think that was very, very good.
And do you think the players settled in well after lockdown, so they were used to it, so they didn't complain or anything?
They settled in very well. They just continued. They just naturally, they already just ramped it up a bit because now they're playing against other oppositions.
But I remember when I got the text saying that the training is back, I was happy because everyone's at home doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But to come to your club, it's just like a family environment. You would agree.
Yeah.
Seeing your coaches every week. So, what is the future now for Caribbean? So, the outdoor season is about to start. What have you guys got planned?
Well, we've already got fixtures because as I say, we've got 2 teams. All the fixtures are out now for that, which we play in the 4 counties. One team playing the 4 counties and the other one plays in the Saturday Invitational League. And at the moment, we're going to access the under 13 youth for this season. So, basically speaking, we're geared up for that. But obviously, we're still trying to recruit people.
Yeah.
Club is open to anyone. You'll find Reuben up at Crawley Green. At the moment, he's indoors at Queen Elizabeth Academy. Okay, so you'll find him up there all the time. With me, all you have to do is pick up one of our brochures, pick up one thing. My name is there, everything is there. You can get in contact with me because we have fixture cards and it's got all the information that you need on those fixture cards. That's going to come out. These fixture cards be out. The way it's looking at the moment at the end of end of March, beginning of April, this fixture cards be out and everyone. But because the way our club is structured, one of the things that we do is that every member of the club has to sign the form.
Yes.
The parents for the under age, which is under 18s, has to endorse that form because by not only by our constitution, but also the way the cricketing authorities are set up. We have to ensure that we are bona fide. We have to make sure that players that come get protected at all stages whatsoever, because all the safeguarding issues has to be taken care of, which we as a club have always had safeguarding officer. So
Sorry to cut you
we
off,
set
Lou.
up.
We've got an ad break coming up, so we'll see you after the ad break.
This program will continue after the break. Continue listening to Inspire FM. Inspire FM.
Inspire 105.1 FM.
सूरज की किरणों से चमके सारा जहां, इंस्पायर एफएम की लहरों से महके सारा समा, रहे आपके साथ जहां और वहां, शेयर रेडियो इंस्पायर एफएम है।
Did you see that guy on TV?
What, that no comment guy?
Yeah, he was sick. What was his name?
I think it was Atiq Malik.
Yeah, Atiq Malik of Liberty Law Solicitors. Atiq Malik heads up the criminal law team at Liberty Law Solicitors, specialising in everything from serious crime down to road traffic offences.
To find out more or for a free telephone consultation, call 01582 459955.
Liberty Law, there when you need us most.
Are you struggling with feelings of depression or anxiety? NHS talking therapies can help. They are effective, confidential, and free treatments delivered by trained clinicians online, on the phone, or in person. If requested, NHS talking therapies can be offered in Hindi, Bengali, Punjabi, or Urdu. Your GP can refer you, or you can refer yourself online at nhs.uk/talk.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. بسم الله. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: إن الله لا ينظر إلى صوركم وأموالكم ولكن ينظر إلى قلوبكم وأعمالكم. That Allah does not look towards your appearance and your wealth, but rather He looks towards your hearts and your actions.
Landlords, let us take away the hassle of letting your property. Our comprehensive services include tenant vetting, rent collection and service charges, maintenance and repairs. Ideal Properties has 2 branches and have been established over 20 years and have gained a wealth of knowledge and experience.
If you are thinking of selling or letting your property, then speak to a member of our knowledgeable team about a free, no-obligation market appraisal.
We can also offer guaranteed rental income.
Contact us on either Luton 721110 or 696050. Ideal Properties. Service with a smile, whatever your needs.
Are you a Muslim struggling to get by during these difficult times? You are not alone. Thanks to Zakat given through National Zakat Foundation, we can provide grants to help with money and support to cover the costs for urgent essentials like food, medicine and groceries. Please go to nzf.org.uk and click on apply to get the help you need. National Zakat Foundation, we're in this together.
Morning light through the bedroom window, slow motion dust specks swirling in the sun.
This is singer-songwriter Dawood Warren. Join us on Inspire FM every weekday from Monday to Friday for the Rise and Shine Show. Brother Carter, here on 105.1 FM.
You warm mine and make this room glow. Dust where you brushed from the... From the studios of Inspire FM, the time is now 6:13.
Welcome back to the Bat and Ball Show, and I'm going to be hosting the second half. So we would carry on where Aussie finished off. So would you like to finish what we were saying previously, before the break came?
To recap, all I was basically saying is how we've outlined our what we got planned for the season. But this is a very important season for us. It's our 30th year. And what we're planning is to have little festivals and things throughout the season.
Yeah.
And say, we have to and we must celebrate the fact that 30 years.
Yeah.
Because not a lot of clubs from a grassroots position has reached that age. Normally, you get to about 20 years or so and they fall apart and everyone drifts apart. Unfortunately, Caribbean is kept together and we've grown, and I hope we continue to grow. Yeah. One of the things that I would like is a lot more youngsters to come through, for a lot more youths come through, and I'm going across the board because I would really like this year for us to attract a lot of female younger players, right? To grow the game so that, anyway, I know in the next few years' time I'll be moving on. So I hope that when I move on, there'll be a solid club there still and everyone be coming to play cricket and enjoying the game.
So in the 30 years that you have been part of this club and started this club, what would you say is the most important or like most aspirational thing about this club in the 30 years compared to other clubs around Luton? Why should people be coming towards Caribbeans instead of going towards other clubs around in Luton?
One of the things that we set out as a bottom line is this. Is when you come to us as a youngster or even as an adult, we support you as much as we possibly can.
Yeah.
Okay? Youngsters, we said to them, just come and play cricket.
Yeah.
Because what we try to do is set up a structure that we can financially support young players through.
Yeah.
Obviously, of course, we try to ensure that they understand they've got responsibilities. Okay, so that when you get to a particular age, you have to pay your dues like everyone else.
Yeah.
Okay, but once you need that support, we'll support you.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the whole idea. That's a difference in ethos that we've got that I know a lot of clubs hasn't got.
Yeah.
Right? We would support you, even as an adult. If say you become, we had a policy that if you become unemployed, once you speak to us, we would waive the fees so that you can still come and play your cricket and enjoy your cricket.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that we had.
And as I spoke to Reuben last week about you getting your own pitch, so you're saying that the council aren't really quite helping. So what's that case about? Would you like to explain a little bit more?
Oh, that's a big fight, that is. See, having gone through the processes, every year we're pushing Luton Borough Council about getting their own pitches. But the answer comes back, oh, we haven't got the space, we haven't got this, we haven't got that. Now, to me, it's this. There's really what I would call three senior clubs in Luton that draw people.
Yeah.
Two of them has got their own ground that they can call theirs.
Yeah.
Luton Caribbeans hasn't. But it's funny enough though, Luton Caribbean's been going in the form of Caribbean cricket in Luton. We've been going from since 1965.
Yeah.
So it's always been a struggle, always been a battle.
Yeah.
But we will continue to push for it.
That's very good. And considering we haven't really spoken about each of your own individual, what inspiration towards cricket. I spoke to Reuben last week and he told him that his transition from football to cricket. But what really quite inspired you lot to start cricket and think of, joining cricket and playing cricket as a career, as a future?
Wow. Like Evans, I started playing cricket very young, was in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
My father used to play cricket to a very high standard.
Yeah.
And I remember and I say this, my first 1965 was my first international match.
Yeah.
The West Indies versus Australia. That's going back a long, long time. And up to this day, I can tell you, I can remember that match.
Yeah.
Literally speaking, all details of that match, what happened.
Yeah.
incident that happened. So that inspired me. The same year, well, the next year, which was 66, I happened to went to practice because I was a fairly decent cricketer. I wouldn't say I'm brilliant, but I'll let other people decide what I was or not. Played again, I went and practiced with the Windward Islands team, which was playing in St. Vincent at the time, against Guyana.
Yeah.
And for the first time, I was personally met international players.
Yeah.
I mean to say there was about 5 Guyanese at the time who was in the West Indies team.
Yeah.
And it so excited me just to be with them, talk to them,
Yeah.
bowl with them. And one of them giving me the bat. Oh, go and have a bat.
Yeah.
Yeah. From then on, cricket was my game.
Yeah.
All the way through.
And you, as similar as Reuben, have seen quite the transition in cricket, considering the many years you have played. So what would you say, like, is kind of different techniques, different things you have seen in players over the years as per coach?
Right. As a coach, I've had to learn and adopt so many different things.
Yeah.
I mean, so like present now, I'll give you an instant. I was speaking to an older player who I played with for years. And he said to me, oh, I don't like this reverse sweep and this and the other. And I said to him, I love it.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, it's not proper cricket. I goes, no, it's scoring runs and it looks good. It entertains people.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like the game has to evolve. Anything has to evolve. Yeah. So therefore, if this is bringing the excitement to the crowd and getting people attracted to the game, then let us go with it. Let us go with it.
Last week, we got to move with the times.
Yeah.
You can't have people falling asleep in a test match. You can't have people falling asleep on a 5-day test. They get the test over down in 2 or 3 days. But these school runs.
And
let the people enjoy what they come to see.
And JD, speaking per your journey, how did your journey start into cricket? I mean, what really inspired you as, in playing cricket for Caribbeans or for any other club you have previously played for?
Nothing really inspired me. I was in year 8 when wicket started.
Yeah.
As in, I'm a freshman. When I came here, I came here as a freshman.
Yeah.
Basically, coming from India back home.
Yeah.
I used to have long hair. I have no seat.
Yeah.
So I was harashedly, how do you say it?
Yeah.
I got abused. Got called rhino. Go back to your country. All these sort of verbals. So I go into kind of a depression, I could say, anger issues, getting angry. So when wickets came, I started off with them, and many others came, but I was the last one there.
Yeah.
Like many came, many went, but I stood there. After a few years, after a few months, I got invited to Caribbeans. After that, from there, when I saw England, it was India versus Australia Ashes.
Yeah.
Yeah, in 2019, I think. Yeah, it's 2019 in Australia. The abuse that each other give, the fire, the ball bouncing, hitting heads, these kind of things gave me the motivation and inspired. I was inspired by Virat Kohli the most.
Yeah.
I don't compare myself with a different level guy, but it kind of gives me same energy as in when there's a wicket falls, I celebrate the same energy that he celebrates with.
Yeah.
When he catches, the entertainment that he gives, I try to give it the same way.
So you would say that wickets gave you the platform as to where you're at now?
50-50.
Yeah.
So it will be half from wickets, and then it will be half from Caribbeans.
And JD, a question for you. So now, in what stage of your life now? Where do you see yourself in the next sort of 5 years? What are you currently doing right now? Are you studying or something?
I dropped out last year in February, this month, basically last year. So it's been a year. I started working, but as in a youngster, you grow up as in a dream of becoming an international player, but there's least chances that you will actually reach there because some families can afford, some families can't afford. I won't say that I can't afford, I can afford, but the time go by, parents become old, you gain responsibilities.
Yeah.
So that's what hit me. So I've got a few responsibilities from here, and I don't think I will reach the best, but to stay fit, to stay energetic, and to stay focused in life and mentally, it's good to play cricket. Even though if it's 2 days in a weekend, you're working 5 days, it's just your 9 to 5 working, but when you're playing cricket, you meet with your friends, drinks, or whatever you want to do at weekends.
And as you previously said, when you came here for the first time, you didn't obviously you faced a lot of racism and everything. But when you came to Caribbean, would you say you made a lot of friends? You were welcomed well into the family of the Caribbeans.
When I came to Caribbeans, I never got abused by anyone. I never got raised by racism. Heard any racism about me from anyone. But the great thing was that neither I made only friends, but a lot of people in Luton started to know me throughout with Caribbeans, because here and there wickets called me out to play for Steelbacks, and then getting interviewed for there, I went to play for, I think, Lord Tevners in, don't know where it was, but it was with the ex-internationals players from 1919s. So went to play there, had an interview from there. So it just spread it around, and Caribbean's name was always in my mouth. So from there, just a lot of people started.
And talking to all three of you, or everyone, so obviously you're from the Caribbean, all of you are, apart from JD. So if you talk about the West Indies cricket team, the Australia series was unbelievable for them. How did you guys find that?
I think absolutely. We were on top for a season, really. West Indies was on top for a long time, then Australia and England and India. But it goes around. At the moment, West Indies are trying to rebuild from where they were in the past. But as I say, regarding cricket, you have your ups and your downs, you have your highs and your lows. But it's about continuing and persevering. The love is all you will continue to persevere.
And JD, going back to you as you were speaking about your racism and mental health, would you say that wickets or cricket has helped you overcome it? And for the youngsters who are joining cricket or maybe going through the same similar incidents you have, what advice would you give to them, and how would you say cricket helped you overcome those?
So the first thing I would say with the youngsters that are getting abused from where they're coming from, what color they are.
Yeah.
I won't say just play sports. I would say do anything that can help you.
Yeah.
If you like football, play football. If you like cricket, play cricket.
Try escaping away from.
Do boxing. I would say boxing is I would say for mental health when you have anger issues.
Yeah.
Nowadays it has gone out of hands. The crime rates are going higher, and it's going high by the youngsters.
Yeah.
Carrying knives, like 15-year-old, 16-year-old carrying knives, killing each other for no reason. So I would say rather than doing that on the streets, I would say do it.
Let your anger out on boxing, yeah.
So do boxing, cries. There's so many opportunities. There's so many clubs, mental clubs that actually want people joining them. Wickets have got a lot of them. So I would say get involved in anything that you like. If you like fighting, I would say do boxing.
Yeah.
If you're emotionally low and stuff, I would say play sports or do drawing or singing or whatever really helps you.
Yeah.
So just do it.
So that's a good piece of advice to the youngsters. And I'm gonna ask each one of you, who would you say is your hero in terms of cricket? Someone that you look up to in cricket or even general in life, and one advice or one thing you like about that specific person that made you the person who you are or has helped you better as a person. Yourself from Evans.
That's a difficult question, but just to say that I grew up in an era where West Indies was king. West Indies team was king. So I was inspired by by that era and that set of players.
Yeah.
And just like Ozzy here, he's met a few international players, and so have I. I mean, I've met people like Vic Richards and Gordon Greenwich, Desmond Haynes, Richie Richardson. All these guys I've met. I mean, I've even played with some of these guys. Even in football as well. So I've been around all these guys, and they inspire me. The current West Indies club. I'm a diehard West Indies fan.
Yeah.
So not really happy at the moment with what I'm seeing, but I still support these guys.
Yeah.
I still support them 100%. Clive Lloyd was really one guy because of how he turned West Indies cricket around from in the 70s, who I really look up to and I admired because he was not only talented, he was very clever guy. You know, and I have been in an organization with him.
Yeah.
You know, I never seen him these days, but, you know, so we used to have a lot of conversations.
Yeah.
He's still in the picture, but I don't get to see him. He lives somewhere in the Midlands now.
Yeah.
I don't get to see him. But he is the guy who I
admire,
because of what he did to West Indies cricket. I know he did somebody to inspire them.
That's very good. And Ozzy, what would you say your player, as you've had quite the experience compared to the rest of them here, who would you say that as your hero?
My hero.
In terms of cricket.
It's funny, I've never really hero worshipped. It's a thing that I don't do very easily. Because I find if you tend to hero worship people, all they do, they make a mistake and you want to put them down.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's always just to give them the kudos for their talent, their approach and everything. Learn from them rather than hero worship. But if there's one person that I would say in Caribbean West Indies cricket, and like happens, I'm a diehard West Indies fan.
Yeah.
Even when I go down there now, I still give them what I have to say. But the person who I look up to, I looked at and I says, was really the first person who captained, because let me just drop back and say something. Before this person's time, the West Indies team was captained by English people.
Yeah.
Okay, so therefore, we used to see sometimes you see one Caucasian and 10
English players. Yeah.
black players, right? So this is what you used to see.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what actually happened in the Caribbean. But this person, Sir Frank Worrell, was the first permanent Caribbean black player who captained the West Indies.
Yeah.
And he captained them very successfully, and he formed an ethos. And the ethos was, because we were many islands, the ethos was, I don't care which island you come from, as long as you're good enough to represent the West Indies, you have a chance.
Yeah.
And that is how I think. So I look in life, I don't care which background, I don't care where you come from, as long as you've got that to give, then I would always support you.
Yeah.
That's what I look at.
And JD, you mentioned about Virat Kohli, so would you say he's your hero? And what about him what aspiration, what quality do you like about him?
I won't call him my hero.
All right.
I'll go with what was he said, because he had his down for almost 3 years, 2 years.
Yeah.
So it was just a hate rate about him. He's not scoring anything. I mean, his story, his everything. His dad passing away just a day before he's gonna play a match, his test match in Ranchi, I think, and then him scoring 100 on the same day of his dad's going on his funeral. So it was that one part that gave me a motivation, and the comeback that he gave in the T20 World Cup against Pakistan first, and then scored hundreds after that in ODI World Cup.
Yeah.
So he is not my hero, but he gave me the inspiration. He gave me that challenge that if he can give that comeback, when I struggled in my time, I can give a comeback.
Exactly.
And if he can reach there could be a hope in me that I can reach there as well. But as I said, responsibilities and things, I'll have to organize everything and work with it. And
yeah. I've got a question for Ozzy and Lewis, as you both probably started off playing as Test cricket, but as ODI and T20 got introduced, how did you adapt to that, and what did you think of the new changes they made in cricket according to that?
Well, with the ODIs, ODIs were way back, because I remember I went to see the first World Cup final. I was actually 1975 first World Cup final. I was there.
Yeah.
I knew 4 or 5 of the players
I
met as well. So I saw the different format of the game, because you've got to remember, I came to this came to the UK when I was 13 years of age in 1967.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going back a few years. When I came back in county cricket at the time, Lancashire was the one-day kings.
Yeah.
They used to every one day. And there used to be 60 overs at the time for the one day.
Yeah.
Right. So I've seen it reduced from 60
to 50.
down to the present 50.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I've always enjoyed watching innovations in cricket. When the T20 came about, now, and I'll say this now, I played T20 cricket before T20 was popular.
Yeah.
Because in the villages, 1968, 69, I was playing T20 cricket.
Yeah.
We used to play cricket every Tuesday. You finish, whether it's finish school or you finish work, boom, you're gone and you play cricket.
Yeah.
So that's where it's developed. So therefore, when it went international, when it went big, I thought, oh, this is funny, something I was doing when I was a kid. But what I liked was innovation that went on.
Yeah. How
batsmen would develop different, and bowlers had to find another way to get them out. Fielders, the captains, everything. Right? And it's just, to me, T20 has raised the standard and it's allowed people to think, batsmen, all the players, to think about what they're going to do, how they're going to approach things, what's going to work for them, what's going to work, not going to work for them. Yeah. And this is why I love cricket as well, basically speaking. Cricketers, and others may disagree or agree with me, but it's this. There's only two sports that I know that you have to think to the level that goes deep and pulls within you, and plan and move so that you may make a move now, and 20 times it moves down the line, you achieve what you want to achieve.
Yeah.
That is chess and cricket. And that's what I'll always say, right? So therefore, when the T20 came about, it was interesting to watch how different parts of the world approached it.
Yeah.
How it spread. And it was good. Like when I start looking at Afghanistan play cricket, I thought, wow.
Yeah.
I just enjoyed the energy. I enjoyed the innovation, everything. Now I'm seeing others coming into it, and it's nice.
Yeah.
I'm really, really enjoying it. In my latter years now, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. And one other thing I would say, as I was speaking to Ruben last week as well, back when you probably started cricket, there was no training facilities, no such thing as, net sessions or this sessions. So how would you learn to play the game? As Ruben said, he probably saw the players on TV and pick up from them. So what was your kind of way or method of learning the game or getting new shots and new tricks to bowl?
So, as I said earlier, we started playing when we were about 5 years old.
Yeah.
And the thing about playing cricket, learning cricket in the Caribbean or in the West Indies, is that there's no age group cricket.
Yeah.
So you're playing with guys who are like 5-10 years older than you.
Yeah.
And some of these guys weren't good.
Yeah.
And so this is where we learn to play the game hard.
Yeah.
Because I remember as a 10-year-old, I was playing with guys who were like 20, 30 years, 20 years older than myself.
Yeah.
In my first competition, I was about playing for grammar school. I was about 13, 14. And there was a chap, you may have heard of him, his name is Michael Finley.
Yeah.
An ex-West Indian wicketkeeper.
Yeah.
Imagine playing in the same competition as him, and at that time he was retired already. So, we played cricket from a very young age with guys who had varying experiences.
Yeah.
And that's how we learned to play our shots.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to be David Gower. I used to be a fella called Roy Fredericks.
Yeah.
I used to be a fella called Alvin Calichuran. That was me when I go to the wicket. So these guys inspired me. So that's how we learn. And because we were playing every day, you come home from school, you drop your school bag and you go on the field. I live about 2 minutes away from, I could see the playing field from my front door.
Yeah.
So I know when the guys came. And like what you had said before, in grammar school, you were playing 20-20 cricket.
Yeah.
It wasn't called T20, it was called 20-20.
Sorry to
And as a bowler, I could bowl 10 overs.
Yeah.
But later on, it was changed.
Sorry to cut you off. We're coming to the end of the show. Thank you very much for all of you having on the show. It's been a pleasure on having you all on the show, and yeah, hopefully we'll get you on maybe some other time. So thank you very much for having on the show. My name is Hashim, and I'm tuning out.